Our first topic of the day, guys, is going to be about Gears of War and the community in general, and some things that I certainly wanted to touch up on because I have said in the past, guys, that Gears of War is not only a live, game in my personal opinion, it's just really the community itself that is actually at times holding the game back from its full potential. So let's kind of talk about that as Jippery McLeod, one of the Gears of War community members, tweeted out, "Gears of War isn't dead. Mexico City easily proves this. You know what isn't alive though? Players in our community branding themselves and making an audience. Twitch numbers look bad because most in our community don't know what marketing and building a reputation is. So please send me another screenshot or 100 of Twitch or Mixer having no viewers. Isn't fully TC's fault for the bugs and issues in the game, although infuriating, but most of you truly don't know how to market yourselves and grow a fan base that would help with viewers." And guys, this is such a true statement. I can't stress it enough. It's been basically what I have been saying on the YouTube channel, is just that instead of creating content, instead of streaming more, it seems like so many in the community are complaining about the game and not really trying to build a brand around the game, or really a brand around themselves within the game, whether that's in content creation like on YouTube or on Twitch. And look, here's the thing, guys, is that I truly believe that if more people took the content creation and the stream side or streaming side of Gears of War seriously, like very seriously, I really think that this would be a thriving community similar to that of like Gears of War. I'm not saying that, Gears of War would be as big as, say, Fortnite or, League of Legends or some of these other brands. Even Call of Duty is obviously a massive stretch, right? Because Call of Duty is basically one of the biggest games in the entire world. I mean, best-selling game essentially every single year. But what Gears of War has is a passionate community and a passionate fan base. However, it's a fan base that complains more than it gives, credit to the developers, that being the Coalition in this standpoint. Also, it's a community that I feel that there's so much untapped potential. Now, YouTube, there's always going to be potential on YouTube, in my opinion, but really where I think the potential is with Gears of War in particular is in the stream side. So people just aren't streaming the game that much, which gives so many of you out there, if you are a Gears of War fan or a content creator within the Gears of War community, you have got to be streaming, because there's not that many people streaming, which means that there's such a huge untapped market for you to have an opportunity to build a fan base through, Gears of War and streaming on Twitch. Not only is it going to help the game, it's going to help yourself. So why aren't you streaming? I think of guys like Domez, who has been grinding really hard on Gears of War, and he is actually starting to build a fan base. He's starting to build some momentum here. He, of course, has his frustrations with the game as well, but he just keeps grinding. And I think that that's kind of what needs to happen more. I think we need to have a lot more guys like Domez who are streaming consistently. I'm trying to do my part, guys, between Gears of War and Call of Duty. Those are basically the two games that I stream on Twitch. So I'm trying to do my part in trying to, continue streaming Gears of War content when I can, and then of course creating YouTube content when I can as well. But it's going to take a ton of people, guys. It's not just going to be 4 or 5 people that are going to help continue building the YouTube and the Twitch scene for Gears of War. We have to be responsible for building the scene out. Sure, the Coalition needs to be responsible for helping build the esports side of things out by really, marketing properly and things of that nature. I think Gears 5 was marketed very well when it comes to just from a marketing standpoint, right? The game itself with Xbox Game Pass, the commercials and just everything, they did a fantastic job because it sold very well at first, got a lot of people to get Xbox Game Pass, myself included, and so it felt like one of the first big titles on the Xbox Game Pass. So I think that it sold well overall, but it just is such an untapped market. I've said this so many times. I feel that streaming, from a streamer's perspective, if you are specifically a streamer and you love Gears 5 or just Gears of War in general, you should be streaming Gears of War. It is the most underappreciated, game on Twitch, in my opinion. It's unbelievable. At least the most underappreciated third-person shooter. And so, for how big the fan base is, the streams or the viewers on Twitch should be a lot higher. And I think a lot of it has to do with the pure amount of people that are streaming the game. There's not that many people streaming the game, guys. Whether we're talking Mixer or on Twitch, it's an untapped market. But I really do believe this. I believe that what Jippery McLeod is stating, that you got to make an audience, you don't know, and he's saying that people just don't know how to make an audience, that's very true. But I think really what it comes down to is just streaming a ton of hours. It's like if you want to get good at a game in particular. Let's just say you really want to get good at League of Legends. Well, what's it going to take to get really good at the game? It's called putting in hundreds upon hundreds of hours and playing thousands of games. Well, the same can be said with Gears of War. The same can be said with streaming. The same can be said with making YouTube videos. It's just making a lot of YouTube videos that are high quality content based around, say, for instance, Gears of War, streaming a ton of hours of Gears of War. You're going to build a fan base over time, and you're going to be helping your game at the same time. So, guys, let's kind of calm down with the complaining of Gears 5, which is a game that I think is just it's so undervalued, right? It's so undervalued right now. If it was a stock, I would be buying so heavy right now, because I believe that long term, I think Gears of War has got a lot of upside to it. And I think that the Coalition, what they've built to this point with, of course, Ultimate Edition to Gears of War 4 into Gears 5, there's so much more I feel that they could tap into in this fan base, in this lore of the game. So I think it's just up to us, though, as a community, to really continue making that, and hopefully making it sustainable. I think that's the biggest thing, guys. But let me know what you guys all think in the comment section below. Are you guys going to start trying to do your part in, the growth of Gears of War? And if you're not a streamer, if you're not a content creator, what can you do? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can support your favorite streamers. You can support content creators within the Gears of War scene, because those things help motivate those content creators, help motivate those streamers to keep going. And guys, this is a team effort. We all have to be in this thing together. Me as a streamer and a content creator, I need to do my part in trying to help out, some of the other streamers and some of the other content creators, and kind of giving them that motivation as well. So it's a team effort, guys. Let's do this thing. Let's continue building Gears of War, and let's stop complaining about it. We got to give credit where credit's due. Sure, we can, of course, be upset and voice our frustrations with the developers when they do things that we don't like, but keep moving onwards, and good things will happen.